Hello everyone and welcome back. Today I have chosen a topic for you about pilot's workload and how to manage it effectively during the flight. As we all know, flying can be demanding, and knowing how to handle tasks, reduce stress, and stay ahead of the aircraft is key for every pilot. In this video, I will share some simple and practical ways to keep workload under control and fly more safely and efficiently. So, ready? Let's get started. Pilots have multiple and complex tasks to perform. Normally, tasks are shared between the pilot flying or PF and pilot monitoring or PM. So, flight crew workload varies even during routine flights. It can increase from low to high and will rise in the event of abnormal weather or aircraft malfunctions. During high workload, flight crew are subject to error if their strategies for effective multitasking break down. During periods of low workload, for example, in the cruise, a different sort of error may arise which stems from the low level of aerosol or complacency, which can be an identification of this stage of the flight. What are periods of high workload? A very good question. Usually there are 5 periods of high workload. So what are they? Number 1, engine start and pushback, taxi out, takeoff and initial climb including standard instrument departure or SID. Number 2, descent, approach and landing, and especially if there comes a need to perform a go-around. Number 3, unique situations such as equipment malfunction or adverse weather. Number 4, emergency situations. And number 5, the last one, line training. So, flight crew may mishear, misunderstand, or misset an ETC clearance passed during a period of high workload. So, misunderstanding the air traffic control clearance may lead to what? Level bust, controlled flight into train, loss of separation from other aircraft, and unstabilized approach. So, what happens to the pilots? The pilots may be distracted from their primary tasks, so resulting in an error in handling or managing the aircraft. How to manage the workload? Another good question. Honestly speaking, we cannot reduce the workload. That's not possible. Why? Because there are always multiple tasks to perform during some phases of the flight. But we can have inbuilt strategies and policies to handle the periods of high workload and to reduce the level of mistakes and errors effectively. So, what these strategies and policies can be? A very important strategy is the cross-checking process that exists on the flight deck between the pilot flying and the pilot not flying. Then, another strategy and very good strategy can be the readback or hearback procedure, which allows the air traffic control to verify that the pilot has received the message correctly. And another one can be the strict adherence to stereo flight deck dictionary. Now, colleagues, let me present you a few typical scenarios. For example, the departure or arrival runway is changed during a high workload period, and the flight crew do not have sufficient time to rebrief for the procedure. So what happens? As a consequence, the flight maybe does not follow the correct SID for the changed runway, or does not execute a subsequent go-around as prescribed, and the flight crew misses or incorrectly interprets a message from the air traffic control. So as a result of which, the flight taxis to wrong runway or uses the wrong route, possibly entering an active runway without clearance, follows the wrong departure clearance after takeoff, climbs above a limiting altitude or maybe limiting flight level, commences approach without clearance, and in some cases that some of the pilots have this experience, approaches continue to a landing when a landing clearance has not been given. So the flight crew are interrupted because these mistakes happen. Why? Because they are interrupted in the course of carrying out a flight deck drill and omit a vital action or check. What can be the solutions for these problems, most especially for the pilot workload? We have solutions for the pilots and for the air traffic controllers. For the pilots, commence preparation for high workload periods as soon as possible. Attempt to anticipate possible changes in clearance and ensure that both pilots listen to critical messages, meaning that both pilots should listen to the communication. That's not a matter that one pilot is a pilot flying and he is not listening to the communication. Both pilots at the same time. And for the air traffic controllers or for the ETC, give clearance, including reclearance and good time. So if possible, anticipate periods of high pilot workload. Where possible, avoid late changes to a clearance, especially where the change needs lengthy debriefing by pilots. Example, change of takeoff runway, change of standard instrument departure or SID, or change of landing runway. And both for the pilots and for the air traffic controllers to use standard and technical words and insist on the correct readback procedure. So thank you so much for watching. I hope today's discussion on managing pilots workload give you some useful tips to apply in the cockpit. And always please remember, staying calm, organized, and ahead of the aircraft makes all the differences in safe flying. So see you in the next video, and until then, fly safe and take care. Thank you very much.